In this video, we'll be looking at addition and subtraction of mixed numbers. A mixed number is made up of a whole number and a proper fraction combined. So for our first example, it says work out 3 5/8 plus 1 3/4. Our first step is to convert each of these mixed numbers to an improper fraction. Improper fraction, it therefore means that the numerator is larger than the denominator. So what we do in order to convert this mixed number to an improper fraction, we do 8 times 3. So we multiply and then we add the numerator. So 3 times 8, that's 24, plus 5, that gives 29. And we write back our same denominator, which is 8. And then the same thing applies to the second one, where we do 4 times 1. So we multiply the denominator times the whole number, and then we add the numerator. So that's 4 times 1, 4, plus 3, 7. And we write back our denominator of 4. In our previous video, we looked at adding fractions, and we also looked at when the fractions have different denominators, we consider them to be unlike fractions, which therefore means that in adding these two fractions, we need to get common denominators. And what we can do is to find a fraction that's equivalent to 7/4 that have a denominator of 8. So if I multiply this 4 times 2, and I also multiply the numerator by the same 2, I can get a fraction that's equivalent to 7/4 with a common denominator of 8. So now I have 29 over 8 plus 7 times 2, that's equivalent to 14, and 4 times 2 is 8. Now we have both fractions having the same denominator, which therefore means that we can go ahead and add our numerators. So 29 plus 14, that gives me 43, and I write back my denominator of 8. Our final step in doing this question is basically just to convert back our improper fraction to a mixed number. So we ask ourselves the question, how many groups of 8 can I get from 43? The answer is 5. I have a remainder of 3, and that's because 5 times 8 is 40, which therefore we have 3 left over. So we write that 3, which now becomes our numerator, and I write back my same denominator. So our final answer is 5 3/8. In our second example, we're still working with mixed numbers, but in this case, we'll be subtracting mixed numbers. So again, our first step is to convert our mixed number to an improper fraction. So we do 6 times 6, and then we add 5. 6 times 6, that's 36, plus 5, which gives 41. Write back our denominator of 6. Put back my subtraction sign. I do 3 times 4, gives 12, add 1, which is 13, and then I write back my denominator of 4. Again, we want both fractions to have a common denominator so that we're able to add them. So we need to find equivalent fractions for each with a common denominator. The lowest common multiple of 6 and 4 is 12, which therefore means I could multiply this 4 times 3 to get 12. I'll also do the same to the numerator. And then I do 6 times 2 to get 12. And I also do the same to the numerator. So now 2 times 41, that gives me 82. Common denominator of 12, which we wanted. 13 times 3 is 39. Common denominator of 12. So now we have both fractions having the same denominator, which therefore means that we can go ahead and subtract 82, take away 39, that gives me 43, and we write back our denominator of 12. So if you notice, our answer is an improper fraction, which therefore means that we can convert it back to a mixed number. How many groups of 12 can I get from 43? That looks like 3, given that 3 times 12 is 36. So 3 groups, and then 43 take away 36, I'm left with 7. That now becomes my numerator, and I write back my denominator of 12. And that's the final answer.